Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe in a resourceful feeling of relaxation. And as you exhale, just get a sense that as you close your eyes, if it's safe to do so, the tension is leaving your body. Continue to breathe in and breathe out, and notice that the slower you breathe and the longer it takes to exhale, the more it feels like tension is leaving your body. And the more that tension feels like it leaves your body, the more you can release that tension. And the more that tension is released, the more relaxed you feel. And what if, as you feel more relaxed, you're able to go deeper and deeper into a wonderful state called hypnosis. Continue to breathe in and breathe out, and just get a sense that as tension is leaving your body and your body gets more relaxed, that your imagination becomes more adventurous. Your imagination has no limitations. Your physical body does. We have limitations of time, of energy. We have limitations of proximity, financial resources, but your imagination has no limitations except the limitations you place on them. So let's do an experiment in releasing the shackles of those limitations. I wonder what might happen if you imagined traveling all the way to a distant land. What would happen if you imagined going all the way to the Middle East? But not just the Middle East back in history. I want you to imagine going to an old city in a nation now called Israel, but that has known many different names. I want you to get a sense that you're visiting a historical town when it wasn't historical. A place with old, ancient walls, impressive religious buildings of all different religions, faiths and beliefs. A bustling city with impressive architecture, big squares, traders. I want you to get a sense that this city has attracted people of all different religions as a place of significance for a reason. Because perhaps it has an innate ability for people to get the answers that they need, the solutions to the problems that they face, or to facilitate empowering, positive change. I want you to imagine there is a beautiful garden here in this old city. Maybe there's olive trees, different plants, different smells in this old, beautiful garden. I want you to get a sense that the sun is hot, the skies are blue, and there is a fragrance coming from the olives and flowers in this beautiful garden. And I want you to find a place in this garden where you can really relax, to unwind, to release any tension. And I wonder what might happen if you thought about the thing that is the biggest obstacle in your life. Maybe it's a person, Maybe it's a situation. Maybe it's a belief that you have. Or maybe it's something else. And I want you to think of this thing, this obstacle that is stopping you from living your life the way you would want to, until it creates a feeling of contempt. Contempt is this emotion where you have an insight, an intuitive sense that it shouldn't be this way. You're not happy with how things are, with this obstacle, this block there in front of you. And sometimes these obstacles are outside of your personal control. Think about what it is about this obstacle that is causing this contempt. And sometimes we can think about things in such a way where we don't realize just how much choice we have. I want you to get a sense that there is something good in this obstacle. But first of all, we have to mess up that pattern of feeling bad whenever we think of that obstacle. So whatever that obstacle is, physical, metaphorical, if it's a thing, a person, a situation, I want you to tap into the power of your subconscious mind to create something confusing and bizarre. Perhaps right in the middle of this thing that is causing contempt right now, this block, you can imagine a juggling penguin, or perhaps a giraffe on a unicycle. Perhaps you can imagine something incredibly bizarre and confusing and weird, like a talking piece of fruit. Maybe you can imagine a pear telling you a joke, or perhaps a bunch of grapes all arguing with each other. And this bizarre picture in your mind, right in the middle of this huge block that is getting in the way of your life, I want you to get a sense that it isn't just creating a sense of confusion. It's creating a feeling of bewilderment, of oddness, of something so silly and surreal that the more you think about this block, the more difficult it is to feel any contempt or any other negative emotion that is low on energy. By linking this confusing thing to the middle of your biggest block, you're rewiring neural pathways to mess up the pattern, the equivalent of scratching an old CD, an old DVD, so it just doesn't play in the way that it used to. And I wonder what would happen if this biggest block could be rotated for it to become your biggest opportunity. It's been said many times that the life of your dreams is on the other side of your biggest fear. So what is on the other side of your biggest block, the biggest obstacle? What would happen if that obstacle was no longer there? What if the feeling that you attach to the obstacle was the real block rather than the block itself? Rotate that emotion so that you feel inspired, motivated, resourceful, creative, tenacious when thinking about that block. Rotate the feeling, and then imagine seeing a different version of you demonstrate to you how to overcome this obstacle. I want you to imagine a movie like Groundhog Day, where each day plays out the same. And I want you to imagine you get to attempt to overcome this block again and again in a highly resourceful way. Maybe it's having conversations, maybe it's solving a problem, maybe it's moving away from one situation into a new situation, but see yourself like you're a character in a movie, demonstrating to you how to overcome this obstacle. Demonstrate again, and then again, and then again. Maybe 100 different attempts to overcome this obstacle. It can happen faster in your mind than it could in reality. And because there are no consequences in your imagination, this version of you inside your own imagination can demonstrate ridiculous ways at attempting to overcome this obstacle, to solve this problem. And by doing it in this particular way, you get to explore new options, perhaps new choices. Will you do the first thing that your mind shows you, or the second thing, or something else entirely different? Will you hold on to this feeling of contempt and feeling of being stuck, or will you utilize the power of a resourceful subconscious mind to be flexible in your approach, to entertain new ideas, to consider what it would be like to overcome this obstacle and live life beyond it, knowing full well that this won't be the only obstacle you face. It will be one of many, but this obstacle is solvable. Ask yourself, who in the world has solved something similar? How do you learn which approaches have worked for them that might work for you, and then see this version of you demonstrate these approaches in your mind and wonder which, if any, may help if you tried them. You either win or you learn, and by testing out different approaches to overcome this obstacle increases the probability that a solution just comes to you. Remember, this is the biggest block, the biggest obstacle to living a better life, a good life. Rotate the feelings of being stuck to the feeling of being empowered, motivated, tenacious, determined. And I don't know which of these emotions you will utilize. Will you utilize tenacity, or determination, or resilience, or creativity, or something else to overcome this obstacle? You are more powerful than you believe. Here in this garden, inside your imagination, you are entertaining all the possible ideas to go from a state of contempt to a confused feeling of bewilderment, to a feeling of possibility that this biggest obstacle can and will be overcome by you being flexible, resourceful, and determined. And then imagine that you've overcome it. You are through this obstacle, and then step into that version of you that has overcome this obstacle and get a taste what life is like when this is no longer a problem, when this is no longer an issue, and allow yourself just for a moment to feel good. Feel good that you've overcome this thing. Feel good that your life has moved forward, and feel good that momentum has been created to open even more ideas of possibility. Give yourself just a tiny taste of even more bewilderment. Because once you're through the biggest obstacle, life can feel uncertain and strange, but also exciting. Bewilderment enables you to feel confused and be okay with that confusion, knowing that confusion allows choice again. It allows you to make new decisions and break free from old ways of thinking and old ways of doing. Find yourself in that garden, that old garden in old Jerusalem, surrounded by olive trees and flowers with the sun on your face, and then realize that all of this are just thoughts within thoughts, ideas within ideas, dreams within dreams, and actually you're listening to my voice firmly in the present. You're in your body listening to my voice right now. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Just wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, get a sense that you're in your own physical body right now, because very soon I will count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. You will awaken feeling resourceful, motivated, and tenacious at overcoming whatever obstacle is the biggest obstacle you face, and moving on with your life into whatever exciting avenues your life takes you. Starting to count to awaken you. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.